Okay then people, so episode 112 of the Legacy Podcast. How are we doing today? So today is Monday, very big day for me. Mondays, it's always one that I sort of just take action, because for me weekends are sort of the preparation, the strategies, the ways that we can move forwards. Monday is when we sort of hit the ground running, we're raring, we're ready to go. So that is exactly the motive for today. We're in today for a big episode, so third and final episode of the Build a Body series, mini-series I guess you could say, that I've been working on over I'd say the past couple of days, and we're in for a very special and meaningful topic, at least to me today. So we're talking mindset. Now mindset is important to me because over the past couple of years, even growing up, mindset is something that I struggled just understanding, grasping, and just ultimately getting to work for me, and it was working against me. So now what we have here is I'm essentially on the other side of the bridge, and I can look back at those struggles and I can say that my mindset works for me and not against me, which for me was a huge personal development and something that I'm grateful for each and every single day. And it's something that I want you guys to come away with, because mindset is everything. As we mentioned on the part 2, we have assets and liabilities in life. No matter how rich you are, how whatever your situation is, financial, non-financial, could be anything or not, if your mindset isn't geared and wired up correctly to you as an individual, you're not going to make the most amount of progress possible, and you're going to put a lot of caps and potential of how far you can take things in life, of how much progress you can make, of how happy you can be. Your mindset is truly your biggest asset, so it's important that we get your mindset to work for you and not against you. So I mean, the first and foremost thing I guess here, where we can sort of set the anchor of the podcast and set the tone of where we want things to go, is actually understanding that everything in life is internal, which sounds like a bold statement. You know, for example, if you're watching this and you're driving a nice car, or you've got you've just recently became a full-time online coach, you've just recently started the gym, it could be anything of those things. You're probably wondering, how does that come internal? And the reason why that is because everything starts from a mere emotion, a thought process that then triggers that action, that desire to actually achieve those goals, those emotions, and bring them into reality. So everything in life is internal, and it's important that we know that, because if we can understand that everything that we are now, everything that we have in the present, was once an accumulation of past thoughts and feelings, we can actually control that first step and start to capitalize on that to make truly more progress. For example, if you're listening to this now and there's something in your life that you just want more out of, you just feel like there's more to give, you can identify what that is. Is it waking up on time better? Is it being more consistent with your training, your nutrition? You can actually look at that and you can begin to think of ways, strategize new methods of, how can I do this today? How can I make my goal a reality? And as you obsess over it more and more and more, and you think about it, you create new emotions about it, what will happen is these goals will start to create themselves into reality. And we can even do it as just like we've got the butterfly effects. You know, we've everything you've done right now, you guys are listening to this right now, granted it could be because it came from my Instagram story, but you created that thought processes that allowed you to come onto this podcast. Your mind thought, I'm going to do this now, and here you are listening to me ramble on about mindset. So even just that little scenario right there gives us everything and more that we need to know. That everything in life is internal. When we think it, we can achieve it, we can believe it, we can make it happen. And whilst it does seem like this podcast is a bit almost a Gary V related type vibe thing, everything that I'm saying is true, and it's true because it comes from a personal point of view, I guess. You know, there was times for me where I used to always wonder, why wasn't I growing? Why wasn't I doing this? And it's because my mindset wasn't geared. I wasn't thinking the right things. I was thinking, about negative things. I was thinking about struggles and what I was going through. Now I obviously switched that up. What it means is that the things that I think, I'm thinking good things so that good things happen. And all these internal emotions, desires, goals I'm setting, I'm able to wake up. Like, for example, today we're on Monday. I action them. I take action, I tick them off, I tick the right boxes, I'm consistent, and lo and behold, these things come into reality. They happen, and I keep making them happen, and it's exactly what you guys can do. So then obviously we can start going into energy and how we can sort of set the anchor. Now, for the past 2 podcasts, I've obviously gone on to goal setting, and that still stands. Even, in the 3rd podcast, I've gone on about the 1st, the 2nd, it could be anything at all. Setting the anchor is everything. You need to make sure that your goals are set correctly. I won't ramble too much about the goal setting because you can go back and watch the 1st episode about that. But provided you've set the anchor efficiently, energy would definitely be a strong step to move forwards in. Now, energy, I want you to see energy as a currency. Now, for those of you that are or may not be subscribed, I have the member site, and I did a real key video on understanding energy as a currency. Now, if you've got, say, £100,000 in your bank, big amount, but let's roll with it, and you're spending that, you're either going to spend that and make more money or spend that and make less money. You're going to have assets and liabilities, so to say, and you can either be financially literate or you can not be financially literate. But the idea here is that if you have 100,000, you're going to want to have more money, because the only thing better than the money that you have now is having more money. And if you can understand the energy as a currency, you can start to understand now that you want to put your energy into things that are going to create more positive energy, because the only thing with being in a good mood now is being in a consistently good mood, to thinking consistently good things, to feeling consistently good things, to watching consistently good things happen. So we need to understand that when we look at energy, we don't just want to see it as this thing that's spiritual, that's almost hippie-like, that's just... Some people aren't even aware that it happens. We want to not only view our energy as a currency, but we want to look at what we're spending that in. When you wake up every morning, what's the first thing that you do? Because I know a lot of you listening to this right now, or a lot of people around you that may not listen to this episode, but I know a lot of people will wake up, they're instantly go on their phone, they scroll social media, and they're comparing themselves to others. I've done it, I've known people that do it, guys do it, girls do it, everybody does it at some point. But what you're doing there is you're putting your energy into an action that shows, I want to admit that someone's better than me. I want to compare myself and wonder, why does this person have that and I don't have this? And that's how you're starting your day. So just imagine how the rest of the 24 hours are going to go. Whereas if we can flip that on its head, we've still got energy, it's still currency, but instead of spending it on that, we're going to spend it on being grateful for the day. We're going to wake up, we're going to make coffee, we're going to do our gratitude journal, we're going to plan our day out. You being completely honest with me, out of those two scenarios, and the two people spending their currencies, their energies, which one is going to make more progress, which one is going to feel more fulfilled, and which one is generally going to be more happy? I think we can agree it's the last one that I mentioned. So that right there, energy is extremely important. And whilst it does seem that we're flying off topic a little bit because this was build a body is comprised of far more than just abs and biceps and glutes and everything like that. It's your mindset that truly creates a transformation. When I'm working with clients, everything for me is the mindset. It's about teaching them sustainable habits that produce consistent results time and time again to help them get the results that they want internally and externally, so that what we achieve in the long run is nothing short of the best version of themselves possible. Your mindset has to work for you and not against you, but for that to be true, we need to make sure that our energy, the very thing that composes us, our actions, our emotions, our feelings, is set up efficiently and making sure that we're spending it in the right way possible. And then when you've done that, you will actually start to see some serious progress, which means sort of, I guess you could say, rolls on into the next situation, because then we can start going into reactions and how you put your energy into certain situations. What I mean by this is that not everything is going to work our way. It's not going to be completely linear. There's going to be barriers, there's going to be bad days, there's going to be less motivated days, there's going to be days where you blatantly just don't want to do it. And in those situations, everything is out of our control, but the one thing that is in your control is your reaction. So I always want you to focus on things that are within your control, because when you do that, you're automatically setting yourself up for wins. You're saying to that situation, I will not let you defeat me. I will make sure that I will always be in control. And if you are in control of that situation, barrier or not, you can turn a negative into a positive and into a lesson, so to say, an opportunity to move forward. And that's the idea where we can sort of say there are no failures in life, only lessons. That statement is derived from that point exactly. You need to make sure that when these situations arise, you're always putting your focus and your energy into the things that you can control. I've done it for a long time now, and honestly, it makes me wonder where I was without it. I always used to think if something bad happened, I'd sulk about it, I'd proper obsess over it, and I would never move anywhere. Whereas now, when something happens to me, when I don't do something, I miss a lift, it could be anything at all, I don't look at the situation and think, why did this happen? I look at the situation and think, what was that situation trying to teach me? And just that switch in words right there, it is an absolute game changer for making more progress and actually understanding how we can move forwards regardless of the situation, negative or positive. And if even just those 2 points alone, not mentioning the other points that I've started off, but those 2 points alone, they're extremely powerful to make sure that we can get our mindset to work for us and not against us. A lot of people, they live life thinking that life is happening to them, when we need to flip that switch and think life is happening for us. The things that we do, the things that happen to us, it's all for us and for the greater good of us, provided on how we react to that situation. That one mindset switch alone has been a game changer for me. Instead of thinking when these things happen, why me, why this, why does somebody else not have this and I've got this happening to me, you need to look at it and think, right, this is happening for me. It's just teaching me something that I'm not aware of right now. As long as you can roll with the punches, put your energy into the right places, I promise you, you'll make progress time and time again. And better yet, you'll do it consistently. None of this 6-week progress and then you flop off for 8 weeks and then you'll start January or you'll start Monday. Consistent progress, long-term sustainable habits. I truly promise you it'll be magical stuff. So I'm going to wrap the podcast up there, guys. Hope you enjoyed it and let me know your thoughts.